What's going on, y'all? It is Saturday, September 24th. It's 3:15. I'm headed back to Monticello, headed back to the same stand I shot that deer last Friday. Don't really have any big deer on camera. I've got that 8 that he was with and a couple smaller deer. Got a mama doe and a baby and a big new doe that showed up. They're actually doing some clear cutting across the street on some of our other property, so no telling what may show up since they've started doing that. Really just going to see what I see, going to get in the woods and just go hunting. You know, you never know what may decide to walk by. I know Tony and Chandler's getting in the woods this afternoon. She's trying to get on her first deer with the bow, compound bow. Excited for her. Hope she can get it done. They got a good deer coming in over there. So, but I'm just gonna go get in the woods, gonna see what happens. And it's a nice weekend. It was nice and cool this morning. Had a lot of deer on camera. Went down about 10:30, 11 this morning. Me and Amber went down and filled all the feeders, put out some more 4S draw, and just freshened everything up. Everything was about out, so got everything back full, and I'm about to go climb up in this tree and see what happens. So if we get on something, I will let you know. Well, we made it. We're here. Billy is supposed to be getting in here sometime. He said he was a couple hours away. That was about an hour and a half ago, so hopefully he can get in here around 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere in there, and see if one of us can't get something going this afternoon. It's a nice day. You couldn't ask for a prettier day. Nice and sunny, decently cool, ain't too hot, so hopefully somebody gets it done. I'll let you know, so stay tuned and stay with us. We appreciate it. going on, y'all? It is Sunday. It's 2:30, September 25th. Headed back to Monticello. Gonna sit in a new spot today. Had a really good hunt yesterday. I seen 3 does, and they were under me for 30-45 minutes. Got a lot of footage of them. They come across a creek there, circled downwind. The mom and the baby, they came in, and then there's an older doe that's been hanging out with them for the past probably about a week now. I think she's come over since they started clear cutting the other side of the road. They kind of hang out, but they kind of stay distant from each other. She milled around and ate acorns, and she never come into the feeder, but she was there with them. And like I said, they stayed there for 30 or 45 minutes, and then right before the dark, they eased off. Tony ended up killing a doe yesterday, and I don't think Billy seen anything that I know of. He said he had one behind him after dark, but couldn't tell what it was. So we're headed back down. Me and Amber went down yesterday and filled all the feeders, and should have went back this morning, but I didn't. I was lazy and laid in bed. Had a lot of deer show up on camera, so I'm hoping they're going to show up this afternoon. I'm trying to slip in a little early, get in there, get set up, because I don't know these deer's pattern. Set up in a new spot, put a camera up, and there's deer all over the 4S draw that I put out yesterday, all during daylight this morning. So I'm kind of kicking myself for not going, but we're headed down there now, so hopefully I can get something going, and we'll see what happens. But never shot 2 bucks in a year, especially, of course, never 2 with the bow. Only shot a couple deer with my bow, and that being one of the bucks, my first buck last week. So I'm excited. I hope something comes out. There's a lot of good deer down here, so we'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll be dragging one out tonight. Stay tuned. What's going on, y'all? It's Monday, September 26th. Just got off of work. Headed back to Monticello. Had an awesome hunt yesterday evening. Got in there super early, which I guess I didn't need to, but got in there about 3 o'clock. And well, I'll back up. So me and Amber went Saturday and put corn out in a couple new places in the camera. Had a good deer show up yesterday morning. I should have been in the stand or in the blind, but got lazy and didn't think anything would show up. And lots of deer showed up, and then a real nice 8-pointer showed up. It's the big one from back in the summer, and then I didn't have any pictures of him for a while, so I kind of quit messing with that area. But he came back, so I was like, well, I'll see if he'll come back Sunday afternoon. So I ran down there, got in there early, and right at dark, it was probably the first deer came in at like 7:15, 7:20. Little 2-year-old 8-pointer. He came in from my right, and then made a complete circle around the feed, and then was on my left and came in and fed for 30 minutes. Well, he kept looking back and kept looking back, and I got good footage of that. And then here comes another small 8-pointer. Well, he kept looking back in that same direction. I kept seeing another small 8-pointer back in there, and eventually he comes in, and one of the small 8s, he kind of runs them off. Well, as I'm watching that one walk off, I look it down to my right through the woods, and I see him. I see his rack coming through the trees, and I was like, golly, there he is. And I thought I had enough light, and I could see him fine, but I couldn't see my pins. I let him come in. He got comfortable. I got the full draw. Didn't spook nothing. Everything was great, and I just couldn't see my pins anymore. And there were still probably 15 minutes of legal light down there in the swamp, and in that blind it gets kind of dark faster than it would if I was in like an open field type area. But I figured the better thing to do was just let it down and save him for another day, because I'd hate to wound him and he run off and I not recover him, or he spoil, or coyotes get to him before I can get to him, or anything could have happened. So I just decided to not take the shot, and so he didn't come back in at all the other deer that I've had on camera come in down there until 8 o'clock this morning. Again, just like yesterday morning, he come in broad daylight. So I got excited that he's back, so I'm going to try to run down there. I don't have much time. I got to hurry. I got to run down there and get in the stand, get everything set up, and get quiet before the golden hour. Hopefully maybe he'll come in 5 or 10 minutes earlier this time and give me a good shot. So I'm running down there now. Going to jump in the stand or jump in the blind, and I will let y'all know what happens. So I will keep you updated, and I appreciate y'all watching. I just got him, y'all. Man, he come in like 6'15", and played cat and mouse with me. He circled me a couple times, 2 times at least, licking his lips, shaking his head. He knew I was there. But finally everything got quiet, and some other deer were coming in from back behind him there, and that calmed him down. He come right in and put his head down. Then he raised up and looked at them other deer, and I drew. I put it right on the shoulder and pulled, and I looked at the footage, and it looks a little high. So found my arrow. It didn't go all the way through him, but I got over 3/4 of the arrow in him. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Biggest deer I've ever killed, so I'm happy, excited, nervous, all the things, but I backed out. I'm sitting here at the truck. Tony's on his way. But I think it looks good. Like I said, I think I hit the top of the shoulder there. That's what slowed the arrow down. But give him some time. We'll go back in there and see if we can't find him. So I'll update y'all once we get in there and head back that way. All right, y'all. It's the next day. We made it back. It was a long night. After I shot the deer, I gave it a few minutes, made some phone calls, went over and looked at my arrow, and I found that it broke off. There was about 3/4 that went in him, and didn't find any blood. Couldn't really see anything. Don't know where he went. I do have video of the direction I think he went, but like I said, we couldn't find no blood, and so I decided to back out. So I went back up to camp, waited there a while. We went back in, and then tracked about 30 more yards and found the other half of the arrow, but the broadhead wasn't with it, but it was covered in blood. But the blood didn't really look bubbly or anything like lung or anything like that to me. The shot was very high. He ducked the string, and he was only about 18 yards. So I hit him high. I think I hit him in that no man's land area, unfortunately. So we decided to back out again. I waited another couple hours and called for a dog. The dog came in, never could get on a trail. We never found blood, nothing. So we tracked for a long ways and a long time, and like I said, there was just no blood, nowhere it looked like where he bedded down, and just couldn't find anything. And the dog searched back and forth, 50 yards to our left, 50 yards to our right. We'd move up 50 yards left, 50 yards right. He just tracked and tracked and tracked, and he never could get on anything. So it's super unfortunate. I feel like I basically did everything I could. I'm going to go down there in a couple days and maybe see if I can find some buzzards or something, but I don't know if he's going to die. I keep hoping that he's going to show up back on camera, because like I said, the arrow did break. It didn't get a whole lot of penetration, and the shot's very high. So I'm hoping it's in that no man's land spot and the deer survives. Would have been my biggest deer to date, and it's just unfortunate. I haven't shot a lot of deer with my bow, but I'm learning every time I go. He actually came in Sunday night or Sunday evening with a bunch of other bucks, and I was at full draw on him Sunday evening, and I decided not to take the shot because I couldn't see my pins. Then he showed up yesterday morning, so I knew I had to try to get back in there again. And like I said, side to side, the shot was perfect, but up and down after he ducked the string was not good. So it was very high. So hopefully he shows back up, but I just want to continue the story. Thought I was tagged out, thought I'd finished the year. Got a lot going on coming up. My baby boy is due soon, so that's good news. But don't know how much more I'll be in the woods for a while. But I'll keep you updated if we get after anything else. And I'm still kind of sick to my stomach. It just sucks that happened, but that's how it goes. So we'll keep after it, and we're gonna keep hunting them. So I appreciate y'all following along. Thank you.